Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and I'm doing Top 10 Tuesday. I haven't done one of these in a while. I saw on Becca Awesome Book Nut channel, she did a books you read on a whim and that you liked. So I'm going to do 10 books that I read and that I enjoyed. So, and no one recommended these to me. I read them because they were on my Kindle, or I just had them on my bookshelf or whatever. So the first book I am going to tell you about is called Citizen Insane, and I will put the picture up here. Now I just looked it up, and this is book 2 of the series, but I did not read book 1. I read this back in 2012. I'm using my trusty journal. So I read this back in 2012, and this one was about a PTA. Yes, at that time I was very involved in the PTA in the school, and this one is not your typical PTA. I'm sorry, PTA. This one, their main subject is murder. So it was really, really cute. I gave it 4 stars, and I really enjoyed it. This next book I also read on my Kindle. It's called Finding Emma by Stina Helms. I'll put the picture here. It is about a woman named Megan, and she sees her daughter everywhere, except that her daughter has been missing for 2 years. So it's the heartbreak of her looking for her daughter for the last 2 years. She can't find her. And this book actually made me cry, and I read it really fast, like in maybe 2 or 3 days. And yeah, and I also read the next book, Emma's Secret, and I think I read the 3rd book after that one as well. I was reading them all, but Emma's Secret and Dear Jack. So I read all 3 of those right in a row. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I gave the first book 5 stars. Okay, book 3 is One Breath Away by Heather Gundenkoff. This one is about a school shooting. It takes place in an 8-hour time frame, and it is told by 5 different characters, and the chapters are really, really short, and I really, really enjoyed this one. I gave it 5 stars. This next book, I read book 1. It's called Switched by Amanda Hocking. It is about a girl who is 6 years old, and her mother convinced her that she's a monster and she wanted to kill her at 6 years old. And then about 11 years later, she really is convinced that she is a monster. It was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I did not continue with the series, but I do own the books, and I will hopefully reread that one, and because I really don't remember it, but it was a 4 stars. I have it written in my journal, so there you go. Okay, coming in at number 4. These are in no particular order, just to let you know. I'm just doing them from the way I read them. So the next book is number 4, and it's Don't Say a Word by Barbara Freethy, which reminds me, I really want to read more books by her, because I did give this one a 4 star. So I'll put the picture here. This one is about a woman who is getting married, and she comes across a photograph, and the photograph is of a little girl standing in front of a Russian orphanage, and she looks at the girl and she sees herself there, and she is not an orphan. So yeah, it was very, very interesting, and I gave this one 4 stars. Number 6, it's called The Repeat Year. I gave this one 4 stars. Put the picture here. It is about a girl nurse who had a really, really bad year, and within the story, she gets to repeat the year for somehow. I don't know how, but I don't know why, and I was just looking up the synopsis. I don't remember. I didn't write much. If you look back in 2012, this is how I journaled. I didn't write much. So, yeah, I write a lot more now. At first, I was just putting the pictures here, and then I started doing it like this. which has more writing and more stuff. So yeah, I just have my star rating and why I like the book. So yeah, so I'm going by that. But I really enjoyed that book, and it's worth the read. I bet you knew I was going to add this one to my list. I've been talking about it a lot lately, and I want to reread it. It's One Summer by David Balducci. It's his contemporary book. It's not about political. It's not political at all. And I really enjoyed this. I read this at the pool, and I read it in the summertime of 2013, and I really enjoyed it. It's about a man who is terminally ill, and he has 3 kids, and some plot twist comes along, and I don't want to tell you anything else because that will ruin the book. Even though it does say the description, if you look up on Goodreads, it will tell you what happens. But I really enjoyed this one. I could not put it down, and I have very bad attention span, and this one I read in 2 or 3 days. 5 stars. This next book I also read during the summertime, and I remember reading it by the pool and saying to my mother, "Oh my God, oh my God." This book it was my first book by Jodi Picoult, and I really liked it. It's called The Storyteller, and I'll put the thing up here. It is about the Holocaust. It's about but in this time right now. And I really like reading about the Holocaust. So this one was about a guy who was a Nazi soldier, and he's living among us right now, and he was never tried for his crimes. So yeah, it was really enjoyable, and I was like saying to my mom, "Oh my God, could this be our neighbor? Oh my God, are they still really living without being punished for all the things that they did to these people?" That was a 5-star read for me. I could not put it down, and yeah, and I still talk about it. This next book I read in 2013 as well, and it's called Wait for Me, and I just looked it up. I'll put the picture here. I just looked it up. It's book 1 of a series. I didn't know that it was a series, so now I need to pick up book 2. It's about a woman who has lost her memory, and you know how I like to read memory books. So yeah, she has no memory. She's in a car. She was in an accident. It says a tragic accident. She has no memory, and she is living with her husband. So yeah, so it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know why I dropped it down. In my notes it says I could not put it down. I cried, and I loved it. So yeah, so my 4 and 5 stars are books that I cannot put down. I'm like, those are books that like it only takes me 2 or 3 days to read, and it engrossed me from the start to the finish, and I couldn't. Yeah. My 3 stars, just to let you know, my 3 stars is when I struggle with a book, and that's when I jump from book to book. It doesn't keep my attention. I don't stay in the story. So just to let you know. All right, so that one was 4 stars. This next book is on my Kindle. It was a Kindle read, and I don't know if I got it free or I got it really cheap. But I picked it up on a whim, and I just started reading it, and I loved it. It was a 4-star for me, but I probably would not have picked it up. It's called The Big 5-0, and I'll put it up here. Yes. It was really funny. It's about a woman who is cursed on every time her birthday comes up. She's cursed. Something happens. On the 16th, she breaks up with her boyfriend. On the 21st, she gets in a car accident, and stuff like that happens every single year. And she's coming up on her 50th birthday, and she thinks that something's bad's gonna happen. So it was really intriguing. I really liked it, and I even laughed while reading this one. So yeah. So let's see if I read my book. I don't want to do any spoilers though. Oh, I picked it out from my TBR jar. That's how I read it back in April of 2014. And yeah, I really liked it. So Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I went by my journal, my reading journal, because I don't remember books. So, yeah, so this is my 2014 book. So it has 2014, 13, and 12 in here. So, yeah. So those are books that I read way back when. Everything I've read recently have been books that have been recommended by YouTube or by friends. So, yeah, I had to go way back when I didn't have any YouTube encouragement. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!